So thanks very much for coming, Rick.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's obviously just off a flight, so you might be a little bit jaded. It was kind of later in the afternoon today. But firstly, thanks for coming to the podcast. Recently, you've acquired a new title.
Yes, I have.
EVP of International Operations. I just wanted to start our conversation, if you like, of what does that actually mean?
Sure. Yeah, that's a good question, right? What does it mean? I should ask my boss. So international operations is pretty much the responsibility of the businesses that are outside the United States. So given our current footprint, responsibility for Canada, UK, Germany, and our and our joint venture in Mexico, as well as our GFS partnership that we've got with our partners in our non-operating countries around the world. So
Which is remind me who they are.
that would be Oryx in Asia Pac and Equestra in Africa. Currently, yeah. We also have, I think you may recall, we signed an associate partnership with good friends in France right before the pandemic.
Yes. So is part of your early days in the role hoping to go and see everyone then? So you're going to be flying everywhere?
The good thing is I think I'm fortunate enough to have a head start. Right. As you know, I grew up in the Canadian business before relocating to the U.S. in 2018. While I was still leading the Canadian business, I was given the opportunity at the time to step into the board role for the joint venture with the Zapata family in Mexico. So I had a good opportunity to start learning, just the uniqueness of the different markets, the cultures, the languages, the norms that are down there, and what a special and unique relationship that is. It's going to be 30 years next year.
Wow.
50-50 joint venture with another family-owned corporation has to be another very, very rare circumstance in the business world, especially with partners in different countries. But it's been a phenomenal run so far, and I'm very grateful that we're fortunate enough to have a wonderful family with the Zapatas, mainly driven by or led by Arturo and Miguel, but wonderful people to deal with. And then, over the last couple of years, I've had the opportunity to come over here and to Germany more from a mentoring sales leader type of role, which has been great because it's given me some indoctrination to the markets in the UK, the markets in Germany. But I've really looked at it through just the more commercial sales lens in the past. So I'm really excited about having to learn the rest of the businesses over here outside the sales effort. So but having a head start on knowing a lot of the people. Of course, both businesses have grown so much in the last couple of years that to learn meet a whole bunch of new people I haven't met yet. So it's phenomenal. And the Canadian business has changed a lot too based on their growth. So it's gonna be fun. But we have a lot of opportunity globally, I think.
It's exciting times, and obviously new partners brings new cultures, new experiences, new kind of trying to ensure the culture is the same across the globe, I guess. Is that a...
Yeah, I think, the foundation of the Holman purpose, our values, and our principles will guide, everything that happens around the world, regardless of the country that you're in, and keep us together. And probably that's the cultural glue, as they say. But the experiences that people have, our partners that have worked in different organizations that come in that may have seen a different thing or heard a different thing or just had a very different experience, is going to be amazing for us to understand what contributions that they can bring to the business, whether they're fleet related or not. I think is an exciting opportunity for us as we continue to grow.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I always talk about Where's Wally. It's the person who walks behind you that spots him that you've been looking for forever. And I think it's that kind of thing. You have to take everything on board because that's when you win, I think. It's by taking other opinions and viewpoints, because you can miss it because sometimes you're too close.
I think so. I agree with you 100%. And I think, we talk a lot about, or the world speaks a lot about diversity, but diversity of thought and diversity of experience, I think, are really, really important for us, to your point. Really help us kind of round it out. And we don't need necessarily people that have grown up in a fleet or mobility industry in the past. We're more looking for people that are wired the right way, right? Have that gene, that unique and rare gene that is you're wired to serve. People that you don't have to really train to deliver the Holman experience. We can teach the fleet business. It's just finding the right people.
So from your perspective then, obviously new role,
Hmm.
you've been with the business a long time. Is there a kind of top three focus from your perspective going into the next sort of, I would say 6 months, but that's probably, that's a bit much. So probably
Yeah.
12 months, 18 months.
It's funny too, because when you say, been around for a while, like I just celebrated my 14th anniversary, but some days I feel like a newbie still, depending on the tenure, especially in the U.S. side of the business. I think for me, one of the things for me is just to listen and learn. I don't want to come in, especially even with the Canadian business, changed a lot in the 6 years that I've been gone. I don't want to go in with any foregone assumptions or conclusions about the way things could be or should be. I think it's important for me to go and listen to what people have to say about what they see in their markets, opportunities that we have, things that we may be missing, and also what our customers are saying about what they'd like us to lean into a little bit more. So those are, for me, things to start off with. I think, when we look around the world about what we're doing in different markets, where are those opportunities? We're going to spend
Yeah.
some time, even on my visit this week, talking about products and services and, either things that we think we can do and we can bring to markets outside of North America because of the competencies that we have, as well as, like I just said, the things that our customers may be asking to do that maybe we have a request to do something in Germany or the UK that we're not doing elsewhere, that we have to make sure that we listen to as well. Our customers will really, I think, dictate the roads we take and the choices we make. But if there's some quick wins that we can make out there, let's not spend too much time overthinking it. Let's figure out how to bring them to market.
Yeah, it's interesting. I spoke to someone the other day and they literally asked me the question is, obviously you have group. Do they decide what you do and you just have to make it work in country, or is it actually a country market decision? And I think fair to say that you said it's kind of, we are looking at what works for those customers in those regions rather than group have said we need to deliver.
Yeah, and I think we can't just assume square peg round hole because we do it somewhere it should work elsewhere. There are things I think that do probably work around
100%.
the world fairly consistently, and I think it's worth us trying some things that maybe we do in one country that we could do somewhere else, and it may be new and it may be different, but it may be a great opportunity for our organization, for our partners, and for our customers to bring something that perhaps wasn't considered before because people have grown up with the lens of just that one market. So I think there are opportunities for us to look at things a little bit differently and see what it means in terms of developing and creating value for our customers and our business.
Do you think that's also part of the value of your role, which is being that conduit between, you understand that market, you grew up in the Canadian market, you spent a lot of time in all these. Do you believe that some of your strength and what your role will bring is the ability to say, actually, I think that could work, and using those leaders in those areas?
I certainly hope so, and I'm sure my boss does too. But I think there are those opportunities, 100%, and the value of somebody looking at everything across the entire globe versus somebody just looking at one product or one service in one market or one function may not have the benefit of the broader view to what is an opportunity for the business and for our customers. I'm really excited about, as we think about the things that we do in different countries from an organizational competency standpoint, speaking specifically about the commercial side of the business, not the consumer side of the business. What are those things that we do? Maybe in the U.S., should we be looking at upfitting in the U.K. and Germany? As now we've got much greater scale. It gets back to that conversation about what will our customers expect us to be able to do for them now that we have greater scale in the U.K. and in Germany. Can we bring some of those competencies that we have in different markets to these markets to help even continue to drive growth in these markets? So, yeah, it's exciting to think about what could be and then make them happen.
So obviously you stated we're in Germany and the UK, and part of your thought is maybe it's a strategic partner, maybe it's other things. Is there a view of widening that footprint?
I think it's something we should be considering, especially since we're getting to the point where we've got significant scale both in the UK and Germany now. Obviously, the BT signing is something that was a massive shift for the business. That's accelerated our growth beyond what we thought was possible in the short term. We need to take advantage of those opportunities based on the things that we do. And we need to look at, if we do something in a certain market, we have a competency in a certain market, and we believe that can create value in a market where we currently don't have that, but it can bring value to us as a business and to our customers, we absolutely have to put those on the table.
So you got a big job.
It's a fun job.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Who wouldn't want to drive growth? Who wouldn't want to,
Yeah.
have fun talking about growing a business?
it sounds absolutely incredible, and obviously products and positions and all that kind of stuff are integral to being able to do that. But also importantly, kind of the partners around the business and driving that change. Have you seen from, with all these new people coming in, you talked about it a second ago about, we need to make sure they've got the right stuff. We can train the other bit. Are you seeing that as organisations and as the UK and Germany, the people we're bringing in are lifting that talent pool?
Oh, I believe that's entirely possible. I haven't witnessed it maybe specifically in those markets. As I get more into them, hopefully I'll see them firsthand. But I've seen it in the businesses I've been closer to in the last couple of years, that you do bring in that thought leadership from the outside, and they do change the conversations, and they do cause you to look at things a little bit differently. And those are opportunities for us, for sure.
So from your role, we said obviously lots going on and lots of time, but what are you most excited to kind of get involved in? What are you most excited to kind of create that change?
Well, first of all, I'm grateful for the opportunity to work with such amazing people that we have around the world, because we've got phenomenal talent, great partners in these four new markets for me in terms of, responsibility. I'm really excited about talking to people and starting to whiteboard and create what is possible. What can we do? What could these businesses look like next 6, 12, 24, 48 months?
Yeah.
How do we continue to grow and create scale in these markets and create value for our customers? That's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah, okay. You've got a massive job. That's absolutely
That's why you surround yourself with great people, Aidan, right?
Yeah, that is very
it makes
true.
the job a lot easier.
It does make the job a lot easier. Just try to be fair. So obviously you've been in the business for 14 years. You've said you've done a number of roles. I'd probably argue this is your shortest title I've ever known you to have.
It probably is. It's certainly the most straightforward.
Yeah. Do you envisage doing kind of? How involved do you think you'll be? As in, what I mean is physically. Do you think you'll be traveling quite a lot, or is it still allowing you'll be doing your scheduled visits? Or
you'll see more of me. There's no question about that. It's just I want to make sure that my presence is thoughtful. I'm here for a purpose. I want to make the most of my time here, and that means spending time with our partners, spending time with the leadership team, and spending time with customers and prospective customers most I can in each of the markets that I visit. Easier said than done in some others. Obviously, some language issues maybe and some get in the way a little bit. But no, the intent is that I will be more visible in all four markets on a more regular basis.
And with that perspective, you're going to, I suspect, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're going to be bringing some of those people that don't necessarily, so Nick from the UK would maybe interact more with Mike Stryker from Germany, to be sharing best practice and so on and so forth. Is that going to be kind of high on your agenda to share those best practices globally and be able to leverage the size of the organization for those operations outside of North America, I guess?
Yeah, I want to continue what Bob has started. I think Bob White did a great job at bringing the global leaders together, having conversations that we probably didn't have before, getting them to know each other, first of all, as partners and peers and colleagues. I think was a really important step that Bob took a few years ago before the pandemic. And I think now it's how do you translate those conversations and more about learnings and insights and what are you seeing and what are we seeing? And are we all seeing the same thing? And do we see what does it mean in terms of opportunity? You have this in your market. Should we be considering whatever that is in this market? Having those become just a little bit more instinctive, intuitive, just the way people interact and look at, products and services, and we'll spend some time on what these markets could be, like I said, in a few years if we bring a few more things to market.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's good. You've summed up your role, what you're looking for, and your focus. Absolutely amazing.
Have I?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Are you clear?
Oh, yeah, I think I'm clear. Okay. But from my perspective, and we ask everyone that comes to bring something for the bookshelf,
right,
that kind of stands for them and by them. And
okay.
I'd ask you the question because I hope you brought something.
I did bring something. Yes.
What you brought and why you brought it.
Okay.
And then pop it on the shelf, and then I've got one last question for you.
Okay, absolutely.
So
what I have brought is a Toronto Blue Jays baseball hat. So people may say, well, you're Canadian. Why is baseball, one of your favorite things? So hockey and baseball are my two favorite sports.
Right.
But as a kid, I grew up with the Montreal Expos. Unfortunately, don't exist anymore.
Okay.
But they're the Washington Nationals now. But I used to go to games in Montreal as a kid and literally score the games. And I'm still a huge baseball fan, and I'm a Toronto Blue Jays fan. And it's kind of, I think it runs in the family, actually. The whole family is a real, like, if there's one consistency about sports in our family, all four of us are Blue Jay fans.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that would be something that would be maybe symbolic of me being Canadian, for one, but also maybe a non-Canadian thing being baseball. But something that would represent me is definitely this. So I thought I would leave this on your esteemed
Perfect.
bookshelf there. So
That's amazing.
yeah,
Wait,
looks good there too, doesn't it? Actually, it's got the right blues.
well, you
See?
knew it, didn't you? My last question for you,
Absolutely.
and we have the tagline of driving what's right. And what I would like to do is kind of understand what that means to you, because it will mean lots of things to different people. And it's absolutely fine. But we just want to kind of understand what driving what's right means for you specifically.
To me, and I think this has probably been echoed by a few other people in the past, but it's about doing the right thing, right? Or Harry would say, doing the next right thing. But it is about doing the right thing, for our partners, for the business, the stakeholders that we have, and for our customers. If that's a quick way to sum it, that would be it for me. If there's anything I would add to that, is the way our values are framed up as an organization always start with together we. So driving what's right is together we're doing the right thing.
I couldn't say it better. So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me, Aidan.